I'm Will Ashcroft's #1 fan. My name's Bekky and I'm also his mum. If Will was a dog, what kind of dog would he be? I would say maybe a border collie because they do a lot of work. They love to run. They're always active, but they're super handsome. So I think maybe a border collie.
Beautiful. I'll take your word for it.
Do you remember writing the poem in Year 5 when you were 10 years old?
Year 5, was it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 10. I am athletic and primed. I wonder what my actions will bring to be. I hear the siren blow. I see plenty in life. I want to play professional AFL. I am athletic and primed. I pretend to be Joel Selwood. I feel like a superstar. I touched AFL football. I worry that I'm going to miss. I cry for joy when we win the premiership. I am athletic and primed. I understand I need to work hard. I say that's the only way I'll make it. I dream to win the Premiership Cup. I try my absolute best. I hope one day I will be playing AFL. I am athletic and primed.
I look at the saying,
yeah.
I understand I need to work hard. I say that's the only way I'll make it. And that was, for me, looking back, that you always understood that you had talent, but that wasn't going to be enough. And our favourite poem in our house is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. We always reiterated that, yes, you had talent, but he's always remained humble and always understood that without the hard work, he won't achieve. Looking back on that poem now, and well, we didn't actually cry when you got the Premiership Cup because we're not criers, Will and I. So it does say I cry for joy when I win the Premiership Cup, but
yeah.
maybe next time.
That's probably the only bit that
didn't come through was the crying bit, so that's good. We were too happy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool, very cool to look back on.
Will doesn't stand still in any way, physically or mentally. He's a continuous improver. Pretty much knows what he wants and he goes and gets it. So, yeah, pretty much a day doesn't go by where we don't exchange messages or a phone call or something. So
yeah, I'm always looking for advice. Moving into state, a few little challenges you might not necessarily face when you're living at home, which has always been awesome for advice and someone to lean on.
Thanks, mate.
I'm looking for feedback probably more outside football with mum. I think I get plenty of feedback, positive or negative from a lot of people around me because I'm in that environment in a day-to-day basis. But I think the feedback that I get from mum around, relationships, different things around trying to develop in other areas, invest in other people. So little things like that I always, turn to mum because I want to be so much bigger and better than just a footballer and, influence people in more ways than just how many touches and how many goals you kick on the weekend. So
I will tell him when he needs something every now and then.
Yeah, she's brutally honest, which is another great trait that I try and replicate from her and admire about her because, there's no stuffing around with, if she wants to let me know something, she'll just tell me, and I appreciate that because, as she said before, I'm a continual improver and want to get better.
Our relationship's unconditional, so he knows even if I do have some sort of negative feedback to give him, it's always with love, so
I usually take it well.
Yeah, usually. He does, usually. Well, this is you, Will, at 2 years of age with the football. You were umpiring, playing and commentating.
For some reason, always loved the commentary.
Yeah.
Behind playing my own game of myself. But pretty cool to look back at this video because obviously when I did get drafted, I lived back in this house.
Even at 2, he knew that the umpires were calling play on. And because in this video, you're calling play on to yourself when you pick it up. And he's been a student of the game since this time. So we're on a path all the way back since then. Our children have been incredibly lucky to have role models where they sort of grew up around a football club because Marcus was working. They weren't actually alive when Marcus was a player, but as a manager, they had guys like Nigel Lappin and Chris and Brad Scott, Luke Power, Simon Black, Jonathan Brown, these guys who were just hanging, around at our house all of the time, and the kids would see them like uncles, really. All the wives and also other children of the players as well provided it just a really great community environment for the kids.
Yeah, we were just kids, and hanging out with their kids was always good fun. Whether that be in Melbourne, Geelong, Gold Coast, Brisbane, wherever it was. So yeah, just having a good time and growing up in that environment.
I think Marcus would be the first to admit that his career, whilst it was amazing and he achieved so much, and we're super proud of what he did, I don't think the boys ever felt overawed or trying to follow in those footsteps as a burden. They've been able to stay focused on what they wanted to achieve.
There was a pretty cool link was when the opportunity to come and play for Brisbane after Dad and then Levi coming in as well. Other than that, I think for me, I was always, more focused and worried about what I was doing, and the media try and jump on different things and link it in. But Dad is very selfless. In his words, he's had his career and he just wants the best for us now, and it's sort of two different things.
He's never satisfied, and his dad was pretty much the same. So I'm still waiting for Marcus to be satisfied for what he achieved. So I'm tipping Will might be similar, and he probably won't be satisfied no matter how many accolades he gets, or he's got a couple of things in the cabinet already, and I'm sure he's not satisfied.
Not always a good thing though. I think it's
No.
Mum always says it's important to stop and smell the roses and, admire, things you've been able to achieve across the journey.
I send him messages often when he actually does achieve something, and I say, stop and actually recognise yourself for having achieved it. I think it was only maybe the day after the premiership that he was saying, we've got to run it back and do it again next year. And I said, hang on, let's just enjoy this for what it is.
Pretty amazing moment. When I did my knee in round 19 of 2023, that journey sort of started, and whilst I was on it individually, we started as a family, and especially you, where you were by my side every day. Levi and Lucy, Dad there as well, and our dog Collie, sort of started on that journey and right through to this moment.
To actually stand on the turf and have that moment is still even surreal looking at it now, and like the Brisbane Lions colours and the ticker tape, and to be able to do that with your teammates and all the medical staff and the coaches and everyone that had helped us through the 18 months to get to that point. It was pretty cool. I wish we could freeze that moment in time.
We'll be able to do it again.
I will always tell him the truth, and whether that's good or bad, he knows that I'm unconditional in what I'm telling him. So I think that makes me his #1 fan.
That honesty that she brings has helped me grow for sure, and will continue to. So I really appreciate that. I'm Will Ashcroft, and Bekky is my #1 fan.